We'll begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're able to join, please do so. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the record show that all board members are present, as well as Deputy Clerk Treasurer Lacey Gammons and Matt Brooks from Charlestown Todd. We have an agenda. I do need to add item C under new business. We have 2 SRF disbursement requests, one for Jacoby Tubes and Lands in the amount of $40,500 and one for Pace Contracting in the amount of $633,178. With that amended, entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Ryan,
Second.
second by Nathan. Any other questions or additions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. We have our standing business, which includes our approval of our minutes from September 5th, our current claims and our payroll allowance docket from September 1st to September 14th. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve those as presented.
I have a motion from Nathan as presented.
Second.
Second from Ryan. All in favor say aye. Aye. That's unanimous. Is anyone signed up for public comment? I don't believe so. No old business, straight into new business. First up, as you are aware, we have been progressing with the Highway 62 lift station project build, operate, transfer agreement. The initial scoping period is more or less done, and it is time to send that forward to the city council for them to formally take action. So I believe that our attorneys at Frost Brown Todd have drafted a motion that can be presented to move that along to the council. If anyone would like to make that motion, now would be the time.
Make that motion as presented or recommended.
So the motion would be to recommend that the council award a public-private agreement to GM Development Companies LLC or an affiliate thereof for a project related to the development, design, construction, and transfer of a potential new sanitary sewer lift station, as well as all necessary gravity and force mains within the city.
That's what I recommended. Word for word.
So we have that motion from Nathan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ryan. Any questions on that? I will say that Frost Brown Todd has provided, Matt, I think you constructed the timeline, has provided a timeline for this project. We are still waiting on some information from Baker Tilly to see where, how we're going to lay out all of the payment for this. But they have constructed a tentative timeline. We'll be sharing that with the council as it moves forward. So,
That's great.
all right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. We can have Tim up for our operating report. Matt, I assume that satisfies everything we needed to do on that BOT.
It does. We'll work on the public hearing notice.
Perfect.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have just a few items for the board to consider and or just be advised on today. First, I would point out the monthly report. Although labeled as June, it is August, and I do apologize for that typo. For the month of August, again, pleased to report that the plant continues to run stellar. The guys do a great job of keeping it in compliance. We did have some significant rainfalls towards the end of July and then first of August, but again, continues to operate well. If there's no questions with that, and I'll be glad to answer if there is, I can move on to the second item that I have. And again, I'll back up and apologize. I did not get the packet in the initial mail out. Apologize for that as well. Everybody should have a copy of that in front of them. Lacey, I did for the official records of the clerk treasurer in your monthly report include the regulatory reports. They go to IDM so that you do have an official copy of that for that, although we keep them in the plan as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Beyond that, moving on, the next item is I have here today with me Zach Klein with HWC. as the board is aware, we've been working on I-9 investigations with some larger projects that have been out there. Zach and I have gotten together multiple times in the last month, and have decided that it would be a good idea to kind of put a summary for the board's knowledge together to kind of bring you up to speed of where we've been, what we've done, where we plan to go. So with that, I would ask Zach to come up and kind of go over his report, and we'll entertain any questions that you may have.
Morning, Zach.
Yes, with Tim's team doing a whole lot of work on the I-9 investigation, we felt it was necessary to keep track of what we've identified, what we've done, areas that we are focused on, what we need to do moving forward, and then the items that we have addressed, or identified at least, come up with a plan of how to address those issues. Not all of which can happen overnight. Everything's a slow, steady pace, but keeping it all in one place, at least we can not forget things and keep it on track. So the goal here is just to keep a running docket of what we've done, what we're doing, and what we would like to do next. So just trying to make it as much in a summary table. One was based on the 2 sets of flow monitoring that were performed back in, I think, 2021 and 2022. The identified mini basins of concern based on that flow data, which is where we've focused our investigations. Table 2 below that is the investigations and improvements that have been performed to date. And then table 3 is mostly kind of next step investigations plus improvements identified based off of the investigations we've already performed, and try to putting a budgetary cost to those, kind of more as a projection moving forward as to what, when, and if we want to make these improvements, because there's no guarantee. There's like a line item for mini basin 3, cast in place lining of quite a bit of sewer main. The question becomes, is it worth that cost to the level of improvements we might get? It's kind of hard to know, but we're also hesitant to just say, let's go out and spend $150,000 to line something and see what happens. I don't think that's a very good tactic. So we just want to at least identify it. We can probably fine tune that and look at more specific areas. Or another idea is if we circle back and do some more flow monitoring, we can see if what the improvements we've done to date, how much that is actually already improved from the previous flow data that we have. So almost before we certainly would want to spend any significant amount of money, it would probably be worth understanding what improvements have already come to date. But bottom line, my main goal was just to summarize so we can continue the conversation and continue planning moving forward, as this is going to be a continuous process for the lifetime of the system, right? This never goes away.
Right.
So it's just kind of a running tab, basically.
Okay. Is there anything you need from us action-wise today?
Nothing today. Mostly I just wanted to make sure you all understood all the hard work that Tim and crew have done,
Yes.
and again, just keeping track of it so you have it for your file and for future plans.
Well, it's much better than it was. And
Agreed.
this, if I'm reading this table 3 correctly, that top line, we're looking at purchasing our own flow monitoring devices?
I am looking into that. I'm actually weighing both options.
Okay.
Purchasing one for ourselves, for our use, to do a mini study, for lack of a better word,
Sure.
and or have the flow monitoring people set them at wheel or on-call basis. We haven't determined which way is going to be most economical.
Well, I mean, to me, it makes sense as we do large improvements to come back and
Yes.
evaluate the effect of that before we go and jump and spend more money on just randomly lining pipes or replacing pipes along the way. So I mean, that just makes sense.
And the benefit of having your own, the instrument can be used anywhere. The thing you need is the internal sleeves, so you just have different size sleeves. That instrument and the box that does all the data recording can be put in any system. So yeah, if you have one and a select number of different size sleeves, you can almost look at any part of your system and really fine tune where your areas of concern are. Now, I do agree that that is probably not a cost-effective use of potentially continuing this process.
Sure. Okay. Great, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions for Zach? Great. Tim?
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, just to comment over and beyond what Zach has said, again, and I appreciate Zach and his staff's work on this. Please keep in mind, and I think he quoted it very well, is what we're really looking at here is kind of a capital improvement project. These numbers are not looking to be spent today,
Right.
this week, this month. This may be a 5-year capital improvement program, so, but it is a good start.
Yep.
We will continue to build upon that, and continue to report back to the board what our improvements are.
And it's an important part of our agreed order that we continue to
Very good point.
address these issues, long term, so.
Exactly. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Pardon me. Last, in the stack of papers that I did give you, I supplied a map from our Ziptility, our GIS system. It is a little crude, but I think hopefully it gets the point across. You'll see that there is a long line to the left, the furthest most left line. That is actually Edgewood, out at the north of town, out towards the hospital.
Yeah, I looked at that, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
Sunset Trail. It looks like the church, that's it.
You will see in that line, there's a red circle. That is the intersection of a connecting 8-inch line coming over from Market Street to the Edgewood, or exiting from the Edgewood project. At that particular point, there is no manhole. That makes it very difficult to maintain and provide assistance if any of these homeowners down through here have an issue. We have no way of getting to them at that point. So what I am asking or presenting today is a recommendation. We did go out and solicit a couple of quotes to have a manhole placed there. We received 2. One estimate was from Henderson Excavating in the amount of $12,000. The second was from Lawyer Excavating in the amount of $14,500. I felt that these were reasonable and close, and I would ask today for the board to consider approving the $12,000 quote for Henderson to put that manhole in.
We need a motion to approve the work for that manhole on Edgewood for $12,000 with Henderson Excavating.
I'll make that motion, but
Motion.
I want you to know that I know that you gave us all the high dollars first and you showed us the low dollars. You teed
That's
us
his
up.
strategy. We have a motion for Ryan, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, questions for Tim on this one?
No, that's a good deal. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
That's his strategy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So then we just have our 2 SRF disbursements. As I mentioned in the amendment, so this one is for, this is request number 14 for Jacoby Tombs and Land, the amount of $40,500. And request number 13, I did those in reverse. Request 13 for base contracting, the amount of $633,178. Tim, you've reviewed these?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just need a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Motion by Ryan,
Second.
second by Nathan. Any questions on those? Should have all those documents there. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And hear any opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Get those processed. Do you have copies of those for me to sign for you in this side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep it.
All right. With that, we just need a motion to adjourn. There's nothing else.
I have a question. Do we have a math showing where mini basins 1 through 10 are?
Yes, sir. It is it.
Can you send it to me?
I will. I will do better than that, Nathan, is I will send you an invite to become a viewer of our GIS system.
Okay.
And that way you can, when you have a question similar to what you have today, you go right on and you look and see where it's at. As a matter of fact, excuse me, as a matter of fact, Ryan, I'll be glad to share that with you as well. As we make repairs and address issues in the system, we actually input that data into this database. And you'll be able to see, like, once this manhole's input, boom, you'll be able to look where that manhole is, at the process of it being put in, the whole bit. So I'll be glad to share that with everyone.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? If there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Ryan,
Second.
second by Nathan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.